What's up, guys? I'm Tim Gettys. I am joined by Nick Scarpino and Let's Get Lexi Yourself.
Hey, guys.
Alexis Kazavalides. This just feels right. Now we're doing the Game of Thrones Season 5
Get all
review.
Here, scoot your chair a little closer. You don't have
I'm
to.
caught between.
Are you? What do you got on there? There we go.
She's in a Tim and Nick sandwich.
Yeah.
My favorite type of sandwich.
Yeah. It's like a.
So
it's
this
like
is
a
Game of
Euro.
Thrones.
Does feel right.
This is right. So it's Season 5. It ended. We started Season 5 with a review with you. Mm-hmm. And then we just haven't done any because we've been super busy doing a lot of video game things and other stuff. Kind of Funny Live, a bunch of other things. But anyways, the most important thing is the season is now over, so we get to look back and give our thoughts.
Now, I'm assuming this is going to be very spoilery.
Oh, entirely.
Okay, so if you don't want the entire season, actually all 5 seasons of Game of Thrones spoiled for you right now, just mute this, but keep watching because we're such lovely and good-looking people that you're going to want to see all of this. Just put us on your TV right now.
We need to have one of those. You guys need to have one of those like alerts. Like the flood alerts.
Well, we had a spoil. Kevin wanted us to just tap our head when we went spoiler, and he was going to put this like annoying.
I thought you meant like a good-looking people alert.
I mean that. No. That's just as Alexis is like.
Every single one of our videos just needs to be
just
flashing
constantly.
All right, guys. So Game of
You're
Thrones.
Brad Pitt of the internet.
I am the Brad Pitt of the internet.
He's the Brad Pitt of the internet.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I heard that you caught up with my brother for a little while.
I did.
Down in LA.
This is such a
I can't wait to hear
production.
that. Tim.
Yes.
What were your first thoughts? What did you think about Game of Thrones season 5?
My first thoughts are I don't understand why everyone hates it so much.
What about you?
I feel the same way.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone was so. Like it was slow. It was boring. And I'm like, what? So much has happened. I feel like how can you hate this? We're finally actually making development towards something.
See, I feel like it's another one of those situations where we are all, and I include myself in this, so please don't take this as a harsh criticism for everyone out there who's watching in present company, of course. We're all a bunch of giant babies. Mm-hmm. And every time we get our sauce or our medicine or our candy, it's not as good as the last time we got it, right? And we're seeing it with superhero movies, and now I'm starting to get that Game of Thrones fatigue a little bit, where I'm not quite as excited for Sunday nights anymore, or whenever my wife decides that it's acceptable for us to watch this week's episode. But it's true, like, for the 4th season, I was like, this is still awesome, still a great show. And don't get me wrong, it's still the best show on television by far. But it's more of sort of the same, and we're starting to get, like, there's not many characters left that I give a shit about. And so now there's even less reasons for me to look forward to the show every week.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree with that, and I do think that this is one of the weaker seasons, but people are acting like it's bad and that it's boring. It's like, no, it's slow, but it's like, it's not snail pace slow. It's just slower compared to the other ones. And I feel like there were other slower seasons. Like season 2 was kind of slow. It had moments of buildup and it had had a lot of things that happened.
Right.
But so did this one. There was a lot of things that happened. And I think that the fact is there's a lot of the characters we loved are gone.
Happened.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of stuff. Like let's recap a little bit what happened in the season, right? They've starting from small, like, this is in no ranked order, but they killed his daughter, Jaime's daughter, right? She's dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She got off.
Wait, let's talk about Dorne.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
Dorne.
That place is an antidote for everything.
Okay, you can just you want to just me to hold it like this?
No, let me just tell you.
Just make sure it's close.
They have an antidote for everything.
Well, first of all, sexiest women on the planet in Dorne. We know this.
Hold on.
If all
That jail
quote
scene,
of the
though?
entire season was, "You want that good wife, but you want that bad pussy."
Yeah, that was. I would have been like, I forget that character's name, the guy that his like Jaime Lannister's like right hand guy, Bronn. What a fun character what a fun time he must have playing that character.
Yeah.
Where he just gets to do those scenes, like that one scene where he's just like, all right, I'm sorry guys, I wasn't feeling that. Can we get one more take on her taking out her perfect breasts one more time?
I know. That scene was crazy sexy.
And she had that short like boy haircut, which I don't know why. It just made a whole lot of motions in my head that maybe it unlocked something that I didn't know was there. Hi, Kevin.
So I really liked the Bronn and Jaime team up. Something that makes Game of Thrones special is when they take two characters that you didn't think would mesh together and just put them together. Like Hound and Arya, I think that was
awesome.
Was the season 4.
That had a little bit more intricacy to it though, because it was more of a fatherly. And then of course she hated him, but she really didn't hate him. Because toward the end, he actually was the only basic family and father figure that she had left.
She just left him to die. But
she left him to die. Yeah.
Well, and he took care of her.
But
so that was like the only person she said.
I think Bronn and Jaime was like like something people didn't expect, especially because it wasn't in the books. But they're just like, let's make the show interesting. And that is another point about this season that I think people are getting hung up on is, oh, it went off book, and oh, fuck this.
Well, let's
and
hold
it's
on.
like,
Before we
this
go,
is some bullshit.
Before we go there, let's highlight some of the other big moments, right? Obviously, Stannis is done.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I wouldn't say obviously. They didn't show him die.
Well, okay, that's true. That's very true. He might still be
he's
alive.
probably dead. Like, most likely dead, but they did not show him die.
I have not read the book.
When
And
do
the
you
show-
think Melisandre was like, shit, I fucked up?
Well, you saw the
that
moment.
moment
Yeah.
where she was like, and then goes back to Castle Black. Side note
Yowza.
and this is my wife's words, not mine. She has the perfect body.
Who?
Melisandre.
Oh, I totally agree with
Oh
this.
my God. Like,
Yeah.
every time she gets naked, I'm like,
I find her
if
incredibly sexy.
Oh, she is so hot. So hot. So
Do you-
back to
I follow her on Twitter, and she's like an indie artist, like singer, musician.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not following on Twitter right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to Stannis, I think Stannis is one of the most interesting things of the whole show because this season at least, because we fucking hate
Oh, I'm
Stannis,
caught on
and Stannis not only was like
There you go. Get in there.
somebody that you disliked because he's kind of a douchebag,
And just got
but he also was a boring character, and like he was the plot you're always like, fuck, don't go to Stannis.
And
in
the
the other
worst
seasons.
is you had an ounce in this season where like you were rooting
Well, that's
for
what,
him.
so that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's
And
like
it's
it's not
like-
even an ounce. It's like this whole season was his redemption story of you. Oh, he's a person. He's good. I'm actually kind of rooting for him. He's working with Jon Snow. He's working with people we
Yeah,
like.
and he's trying to
being
take back
nice to his
Winterfell,
daughter.
which is-
He's trying to get fucking back Winterfell. He offered Jon Snow the name of Stark. Like all these good things make you care for this character, and then in classic Game of Thrones fashion, it's like no. Don't care for people.
I mean, it's good that John didn't take that offer because he probably would have wound up dead. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Fucking spoilers again. Here's my deal. Is like, Game of Thrones is that sliding scale, right? Where you have your sort of list of people that you're rooting for. At the top was Ned Stark, right?
Yeah.
Threw that the fuck out the window after like, I don't know what episode, like
I'm
8.
still sad about that.
Then you start
9.
going down to Rob. You're like, okay, Rob's my guy. He's gonzo. Basically, they've taken every character you love, and by they I mean George Railroad Martin has taken every character you love and just fucking destroyed them in a fucked up human-sized blender of tragedy and loss. And now we're finally ending that with, I mean, I even was rooting for Stannis at a certain point. I'm like, okay, well, I've gone all the way down my list to Stannis now, and now I want Stannis to win because I fucking hate that dude that flays people's skin, the guy that made
Ramsay.
Yeah, Ramsay.
Well, Ramsay's the new Joffrey.
Yeah, he is the new Joffrey.
Yeah.
But now that Stannis is gone and seemingly Robb Stark's gone as well, we don't really know. We didn't see either of them specifically die.
Robb Stark?
No, I'm sorry, not Robb. Jon Snow.
Well, I mean, we saw Jon Snow die.
We saw him
Jon
get
Snow
stabbed.
is dead. Will Jon Snow come back? I think that's the other question.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. And now the only ones that we really have to look forward to that we haven't seen all season is the kids. The younger, the brother.
Yeah.
Bran and-
But it is
Bran and,
confirmed that
whatever.
Jon Snow is not going to be in the. What season are we in?
I don't
We're in
believe
5.
I don't believe
So
any
he's
of
not gonna
the
be in the next
confirmations
season.
they're saying right now in terms of casting and all that stuff. They're
Yeah.
on some bullshit right now.
Well, no.
They're being so sneaky
He
snake about
says
this
he's
shit.
not in it. He can confirm it.
He said that Jon Snow will not be back.
Yeah, that's what he
Will
said.
John with some
Jon
different
Snow.
name come back or
Jon
John whatever?
Stark.
Like, there's so much shit that I'm not like. I'm just like whatever. I'll see what
I'm
happens.
just so sad that him and Khaleesi never met.
Ugh, that would have been a hot
Well, that's
scene.
another huge thing this season is we saw Khaleesi meet Tyrion,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
is something that's
Which
like
was awesome.
This is a great duo.
that
I love
finally happened, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's something, it's funny because I say finally happened, but it's not something I was waiting for to happen. It's not something I ever really expected
also
to occur.
Just as a side note, probably the biggest news of the whole thing is we got the guy with the beard that's having sex with Khaleesi that can't marry her, but that's like the love affair. You know, the guy from
Dario?
Nashville. Yeah, we got to see his butt a couple times,
Yes, that was good.
which was
Yeah.
amazing.
So it's very clear why
Watching
Nick
my wife's
Scarpino
eyes-
watches this show.
No,
so
watching my wife's eyes
Nick's rating
watch
this
that is
season
amazing.
based on nudity.
There's a lot of good nudity. We saw
But
some
specifically.
And then let's talk about the walk of shame that Cersei had
Oh,
to do,
yes.
which must have been. And let's take it back. I'm not going to go perverse with this one, but it's very, very easy too. And this is like breaking my brain not to do this. But what a crazy scene for her to have to film.
I have
Like,
so many things to say about this scene.
What an intense and like amazingly fucked up scene that was. Like that to me, that was the best scene of the entire.
Okay, but wait.
the entire show, like the entire season rather.
All the stuff that she did and all she had to do was walk to the kingdom naked.
No,
Like, she's going back
still
to a castle.
She's still on trial though, so they're still going to try to come after her and get her. That was just her walk of shame until she goes on trial.
Yeah, which I'm sure something's gonna happen until her trial.
That's the only
they have
fascinating.
Frankenstein now.
Yeah,
like,
he got, which was
I
terrifying.
think we're good.
With his like purple skin
But, like,
bulging out of the mask.
That's all like she had to do was just walk naked for all the horrible things that she did.
But that's just to get out of the dungeon.
Yeah, I still think they're still gonna put her on trial and try to kill her probably. That's the goal. Look, the thing was, he was like, you have to do your penance, and then you can go home, but we still have all these charges against you that we're going to come after you for again.
And she didn't admit the incest with her brother.
No, and that's what they're gonna go after her for. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Everyone's got that weird cherry strawberry blonde hair.
Getting casted as the woman that goes shame.
Yeah, I know.
Shame.
My God.
And you call home and you're like, guys, I got casted. I'm the one that says shame.
Here's awesome role. I get to slap Lena Headey in the face a bunch of time, and then I get to walk I guess behind her as she's got this weird merkin on her bush. That's as she's walking. Did you see that thing? Like that thing had to be fake, right?
So she used a body double because she was pregnant.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a body double.
Damn, she looked really good for being pregnant, though. Who? That wasn't the question I asked. It was Kevin, but it's okay. We'll skate around the merkin issue.
What the fuck's a merkin?
A merkin's it's a toupee for your vagina.
Nick Scarpino,
I didn't know
ladies
that.
and gentlemen. What the hell? You just dropped this as if anyone in this room should know
go for
that.
something like that?
I don't know. You got to have a wig person. You got to have a toupee person, I assume.
Do wig people carry like for top
I'm
and bottom?
Assuming they can if you go to the right person. I just don't know anyone that's got that amount of growth down there these days. Like most people get that lasered off, with the exception of Kevin. Kevin, thank you for looking at your own crotch while we're filming this, Kevin. But no, taking it back up to a level that's not incredibly perverse. That scene was so amazing, right? Because it was the first time that you actually started to feel pity for Cersei. And then you were like, then she gets back into the castle, and you're like, oh no, wait, she's gonna rage kill everyone.
Yeah.
She's got the Frankenstein monster, and now I'm actually like, I'm rooting for two people now. My alignment has gone from rooting for all the Starks because they're all dead. Now one of them's blind, sitting in the fucking that weird castle, whatever the hell's going on with her. The many-faced god made her blind for some dumb reason. Now she's the daredevil. Now I'm rooting for Cersei because I want to see her kill Jonathan Pryce's character. I want to see her just wipe out all of those religious nuts. And then I'm also rooting for the White Walkers just to come in and fucking clear everything out.
God,
I just want them to just destroy everything. I don't know. What did you guys think of the scene where Jon fights the White Walkers?
Fucking awesome.
My only criticism...
End of season 8?
Really?
Or end of episode 8?
Yeah. I thought it was awesome, but I started thinking, I'm like, wait, this is breaking my brain because I could have sworn, like when we've seen, up until this point, we've seen all the White Walkers, they've been that blue skin sort of like ethereal, mysterious sort of thing. And then in this scene, they're like 28 days later, zombies.
No, those are different things, right?
Those are others.
There's the others, and then there's the White Walkers.
Okay.
Others are like zombie things. White Walkers are the blue dudes.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
at the very...
No, I don't think
no.
so. Yeah.
White Walkers are the zombies.
Then others are the blue dudes.
Oh, okay. So they're different.
Yeah.
Because in the very first episode, we see the people that are the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
And remember, he sees the kids that are all like torn apart. He comes to them and they're like all displayed apart, and like the horse is all screwed up. And then he looks over and the kid's like right there. What the hell were those? Are those the others?
No, those are White Walkers.
Those are White Walkers.
Those are zombies.
Because they have the eyes.
The blue eyes.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between these two groups.
The others have like the weird, wrinkly looking skin. It's white and they look like
I thought that was the king of the White Walkers.
Yeah. Or like at least a. Are you sure?
they're controlled by the white. The others control the White Walkers. They go like the thing they did at the end. Where
Yeah.
All of them stood up.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna have to get to the bottom of this. But I
Yeah.
thought that scene was cool, but it was one of those where
They're
I'm like,
definitely different groups. I don't know who's what. It's really fucking confusing.
it's very confusing.
But yeah.
Because also the guy that would like raise them was also the guy that put the baby with the blue
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
Those are the others.
Those are the others, not the White Walkers.
No, the White Walkers are the zombies. It's not complicated, right?
All right, let's table this for a second. We're gonna go back and fact check this.
On it now.
Kevin's on it right now. I thought that scene was cool, but again, for some reason, that scene missed something for me, and I don't know what it was.
Me too.
I watched it and I was like, that scene should have been a little cooler than it was, and I don't know
Really?
why.
I
Yeah.
also felt the scene where Khaleesi mounts Drogo should have been cooler. Like it just felt like
Wait.
Drogon. Sorry.
I was like, wait.
I remember
thought-
the scene
I
when
remember
she
that
mounted
scene, and that
Drogo.
was hot.
Yeah.
Sorry, those were after hours. No.
Yeah.
I just felt like the CGI
The
or whatever
CG
they
was
guys,
weak as fuck,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was
You know,
just really
but it's a
disappointed
TV
in
show.
that.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but it's HBO. They already spend $6 million an episode. It's like,
But see, they've never nailed the dragons with people. That's the thing is, anytime you ever see the dragon with people, I'm always thrown off where I'm like, oh shit, this is a TV show. Whenever they're just flying and shit, they look great.
I mean, it was a cool moment,
Yeah.
but it really took me out of it.
No, it wasn't the CG for me though that took me out of it. It was both of those moments should have been very, very powerful. But I think I just have fatigue with the series at this point. Like I'm caring less and less about the safety of these characters. Like I don't really care if Khaleesi dies now because to me it's almost like I've seen her entire life at this point, right? Now I know that's sacrilege for you. You can slap me later off camera. But like it's so convoluted and so complex, and I'm just like, I just want to see some sort of resolution come to all these stories at this point. Like, if she's gonna be the Queen of Marine, like, be that. Just run your kingdom over there. Why do you give a shit about the Iron Throne anymore? Like, why does that even matter? You've got this giant, vast Mediterranean kingdom with all these beautiful people, and you want to go to this shithole in King's Landing?
Just to deal with the Sons of Harpy.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what she got that dragon for. Get better
That's
at
what I
using
don't
your
understand.
dragon.
Like, yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like, why she doesn't just do that.
I would chain that thing to the top of my castle, so that if anyone came within a 3-foot radius of me, they would just get fried.
Yeah, or just
And I would
like
just-
walk them with the chains and just be like
Like a balloon,
go, yeah,
like a balloon animal.
go.
and kill that person.
I liked the end of her storyline though, or at least where we're left with her, where she's with all the Dothraki people.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's
yeah.
like this is one of the first times in like a long time with her storyline that I'm like, what are they doing with this? Because
We don't know
Khaleesi's
where,
been so frustrating to me, where it's just like for seasons at a time, you're just like, okay, great. Now we're stuck here. We're stuck in this city. We're
Right.
stuck saving slaves. Like all this stuff would just keep happening and happening, and we can kind of just see where it's going. This is the first time I'm like, we're back to the Dothraki. What? Didn't expect that at
Yeah.
all. Don't know where that's going. So that
I know.
excites me.
Where do you think that's going?
And
I don't know.
not a great place. They're gonna have to save her from them, because
Or they're gonna like completely worship her.
I don't think so. Because Drogo's gone, and Drogo was the only person legitimizing her in their eyes. Remember, like
Yeah.
all the lieutenants of the Dothraki did not like her, but they respected her
Yeah,
because
but
of
she's-
Drogo.
But that was
she still has the
before-
dragons.
Yeah, that was before though they knew.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna matter so much because based on what the feeling of that scene, they were like, "We're not here to save you.
But
We're
they
here
didn't
to
see the
basically
dragons,
ransom
though.
you." What's that?
They didn't see the dragons yet.
I think she has one dragon left. The other two are chained
One
up in a
dragon's
basement somewhere.
a big difference than no dragons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
one
that
dragon
dragon's
that's
like-
he's like a brat.
He's like a teenager where he's like, I guess I'll get up and clean my room.
Yeah.
I guess I'll come save you
yeah.
and eat some people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my suspicion is that they're gonna have to what's his name? Tyrion and Hot Buns McHotterton. Who are the guys that went
Dario.
after her?
Dario.
Dario. They have to. They're gonna have to go save her.
And
from the
Mormont.
Dothraki.
Tyrion didn't go.
Not Tyrion.
Jorah
Oh, Tyrion
with
stayed.
his
That's right. Tyrion
grayscale,
stayed.
yeah.
Yeah,
Tyrion
Jorah
stayed.
Grayscale. That was a weird one.
Oh, wait, I have an update with the
Uh-huh.
White Walkers are the scary monster dudes.
The blue dudes. Or the zombies.
Yes.
No, the blue dudes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
the White
others
Walkers.
are the zombies.
Whites. That's what they're called.
They're just whites.
That's what they're called.
All right. So there's no such thing as the others.
There
That's
are- no.
from
I
Lost.
think it's in the
That-
No, others are definitely a thing.
I think the others are from Lost, Kevin, because that was the other group on the island. But thank you for, both are convoluted
From
at this
the
point.
other
For all I know, they're the same damn
drawn-out
universe,
show.
for all I know. So just to clarify for everyone that couldn't hear Kevin, the White Walkers are the guys with the blue skin that touch people and make them white and they can resurrect the dead. The Whites, is that what you're saying to me, Kevin? The Whites are the zombies. No, I trust you. I see on Wikia. Thank you for looking that up. I just want to go on record as saying Kevin is the one that told me to call them the Whites. Okay.
Well, who the fuck are the others? Whatever. We'll get to
It
that
doesn't
later. So, what other...
White is spelled WIGHT, by the way.
I'm gonna call them the Wheats.
Oh my good lord.
White just sounds somewhat racist. I don't know
See,
why.
I disagree with you that I think the end of episode 8, the
Look through his picture.
big ass war with the
Yeah.
Night's King, that was fucking baller. I liked it a lot.
I thought it was really cool, but again, it's one of those things where I just got fatigued. Nothing has that impact like it had when they cut Ned Stark's head off anymore.
What about
No, I
when
get that, but,
Reek
I
finally
feel-
pushed that girl?
Yeah, okay. So Reek's whole storyline, I have a lot of issues with. I feel like character redemption arcs are a big thing in Game of Thrones. Like we saw it with Jaime, where we went from fucking hating that son of a bitch to actually caring about him, and now it's like we don't even remember that we hated him at some point. And it took that one scene in season 4 after Joffrey died between him and Cersei to make us go, oh yeah, Jaime isn't a good dude.
Yeah.
When he was like
when he basically raped her.
yeah, exactly. And it's just like that was like the first time that we weren't in love with him in a long time. And I feel like we saw that with Stannis, where it's like they tried making us like a character that we hated.
Mm-hmm.
And then Theon, we've hated that motherfucker for seasons at this point, right? And then he got tortured, and we started to feel bad for him because he was tortured, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But did you?
I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like, it's whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, he's been tortured for so long. That was another one of those storylines that's like, anytime I cut to him, it's like, God damn, do we need to see another torture scene? Do we need to see another thing like this? And then going back to Sansa, last season, like she's been such a like one of those characters you don't like for so long. And then at the end of season 4, all of a sudden she like puts on a black dress and dyes her hair, and she's this different character.
Right.
And I thought that was a really weird character development because it just, where the hell did that come from? There wasn't enough of a transition. It just kind of happened. And then the first half of this season, she was, freaking, she knew what was up, and her and Littlefinger were scheming and stuff. Then all of a sudden she gets sent off to Winterfell.
Yeah.
In a really bad situation. And you think she's going to like, maybe
That was
not
a
own
bad
it, but at least
situation.
kind of like do something as
Figure
this
out
new,
how to navigate
this
through
new
it,
character,
right?
and then doesn't.
Like start trying to, and that's the thing for me is like one of the most powerful things about the series, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, is that all the characters start. They live long enough to see themselves become sort of the villain, right? Like there are the two types of characters. They're the innocent sort of Stark children characters, and then there's the Tywin Lannister character, right? Which is the older, like, I've been through all this, I survived it, and now I have to be this way because that's the only way you can survive. It's just being ruthless and a tyrant, basically, right? And so your assumption is we're going to see Cersei, who is that character that starts with the innocence, eventually evolve into that Tywin Lannister character, right? Because she has to do all of this horrible shit just to survive, that she'll be so guarded and so ruthless by the time she reaches her mother's age that she will then be the tyrant, or at least the powerful, like well-balanced person that can navigate the sharky waters, right? So when she gets into the situation, you're like, okay, cool, she's gonna do something that's gonna get her out of this, like, I'm a doe stuck in the headlights sort of vibe, and she doesn't. And also, why the hell would she go there in the first place? I'd be like, no, I'm not going anywhere near this. These people killed my parents. Like, why would you even put me here? It doesn't make any sense. But she's still this sort of like this sort of victim constantly over and over and over again until the very, very end of the series.
Well, are you talking about Sansa?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like she's been the victim and been like, kind of not a pleasant character for so long. Then has this moment of, all right, now she's this new character that we're supposed to like actually start respecting. Right. And then the scene where she gets raped, it's like this season, obviously rape is bad. Like none of that is a question.
That was a hard episode to watch.
Rape being used
Yeah.
as a plot point of character development, like you need to be smart about that. Like there needs to be a real reason. And I didn't like how in that episode it was used not to further her character development. If anything, it like brought her back hella because she was no longer the strong character.
I think it was
also then used just to make Ramsay more evil, which we didn't need because he's fucking evil. We get it. That was unnecessary.
I questioned though whether or not he was going to be nice to her. That was in question to me. I thought maybe like he was going to actually be good to her because she is a name and he's not.
Yeah, no, I didn't question that. I knew he was going to be a psychopath no matter
He's
what.
a fucking crazy motherfucker.
Like, no matter what's
And he
happening.
kept complimenting her. He was like, yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, he also complimented all the other girls before he hunted them.
Yeah, that's true.
But then
Good point.
My biggest issue is the fact that the whole Sansa thing, all of this development of Sansa that we finally got turned into Reek's and Theon's redemption story. And like I didn't like that.
I mean, yes and no. In a certain degree, she went through all of that and then eventually like started becoming more bold, right? Like she got to a place where she, had the corkscrew and tried to get out and tried to save her, or tried to put the candle in the thing for
Brienne,
for Brienne
anyone
to see.
who's never in the right place at the right
what the
time.
shit? I'll go kill Stannis instead.
But I guess that's why she's alive still.
Yeah, probably. Because she does nothing and never accomplishes anything, unfortunately. Like literally, she hasn't accomplished anything.
Not one thing.
Anything except for not dying. That's all she's done.
Only killed Stannis and got
Maybe.
revenge. The only thing she wanted.
Really.
Just saying.
Good for her.
No big deal.
So God forbid she come through on that oath she took to Lady Stark to protect her 2 daughters. One of them was getting like
The daughters aren't dead.
serially abused up in this castle, and the other one's fucking blind in a monastery someplace in God knows what land. What happened? Face off. What a weird. That was dope as shit. But I'm like, what are you doing?
That was to me that was the storyline. I was like, whenever we went to it.
Yeah, that was pretty.
The
that was
faceless
pretty
man
bad.
thing. It was just like, man, and it sounded so cool when it first happened, and then 10 episodes in, you're like, God damn.
But to me, sorry, going back to story, Arya, Sansa. That all led to her going like, "This is my breaking point. Either I'm going to die right now, or I'm gonna live." And she basically, and that's what you have. You have him literally jumping off of a cliff to survive, which I thought was like, that was a powerful moment for me, where I'm like, oh, she's finally like taking her life into her own hands and doing what she needs to do. And you don't know if they live or die. You look down. I mean, that's like a 5,000-foot drop to snow. I don't know what the plan was there. Like, I guess we'll just skate down and just make an ice cream cone on the way down. I don't know what's going on with that, but
Maybe her skirt went up.
it was
a parachute down.
just like the
Like
Invincibles,
Princess
which I just
Peach.
watched yesterday. So that was cool. Yeah, and then we get to Arya, where you're like, what? Am I saying that right? Arya.
Arya, yeah.
Where you're just like, what the fuck's going on over here? What is she doing?
I was stoked though to see that Sir Meryn.
Meryn Trant.
Meryn Trant. The
Is he
guy
the guy
she
that's like,
killed.
Kill him.
The man doesn't. Oh no. Oh yeah, that guy. That
Yeah.
was an awesome freaking scene, right?
Yeah.
God, what a
I just
sick
feel like
mofo,
all of
that guy.
her storyline could have been condensed into 3 episodes max.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all the things that happened with her, and it would have been way more entertaining and snappy. But that is, I think, the overall problem that people have with this season is that, they're running out of book space and they had to combine different things, which I'm happy they did, because from what I haven't read the books, but from what I've read on Wikipedia about the books, I'm like, thank God they combined this shit. Thank God that they changed characters and made this stuff happen, because it's like, there could have been 10,000 other new characters they introduced that I just wouldn't have given a shit about, and it would have drawn it out over more seasons. It's like, you keep saying that you feel like you just want resolution, whatever. It's like, I feel like we are getting towards that, and like that's part of this, is the fact that we are finally, these characters we're being thinned out. And now the new characters they're introducing, it's not so much characters as much as it's groups of people. Like we see Sons of the Harpy, and we see the whole the religious cults and stuff. And I like that there's not really figures to those groups.
Well, there is. I mean, you got the Jonathan Pryce character,
Yeah,
right?
but-
And he's going to be a main character probably going forward to some degree.
But it's like, it's not so much about introducing every single character in these groups. It's just, here's a whole new group of people
Sure.
And
that
there's
are
one,
causing issues,
Yeah. One person.
I mean, I feel like at this point, I'm at the same place I was with Lost right around season 3, where I'm like, I still love this show, but I do want them to start figuring out how to wrap this up. Like, it can't go on for another 4 seasons. It just can't. It can't. Like, I'm not going to be interested beyond the 6th season. So, like, get me to some place where I need to be for the 7th season to wrap this thing up. Just wrap it up.
But I feel like that's the point, and that's the goal.
It is,
like
but
I don't feel like, I think the Lost thing isn't a fair analogy, because that they didn't know where the fuck they were going. This is like, they
did know where they were going, but then they got super successful and had to pad it out for 3 more seasons.
But I
which
don't-
is the problem.
like-
It's not the same thing. You're right.
Yeah, Game of
They
Thrones
know
is
where they're
not
going
gonna do that.
But the problem is they have to wait for the other books to come out. And
But
so,
they
like,
don't. That's the thing, is they don't.
They do, because when those sections that aren't in the book happen, you start to feel like they're just padding. It doesn't have the same
I
heart
don't agree
as
with
some
that,
of the.
man.
I bet I could write down all, like, if you wrote all the scenes, I could probably circle the ones that aren't in the
I
books.
bet you couldn't, because
bet I could.
No, because like
I
that's,
bet I could.
That's just, dude. Like, again, I haven't read the books. You haven't read the books, so we
Sure.
can't really have this discussion. But from what I read about what's in the books on Wikipedia, it's like, I'm happy that shit was not in this show. They made this a show. They made this entertaining, not drawn out shit, because the books are getting drawn out. The
Right.
books are the thing that are just going
but
off the fucking rails.
At this point, they're hitting the same thing that every HBO show does, which is that 5th season sort of like, okay, this is time. Like Sopranos, same thing happened where you're like, wow. Like the 5th season of Sopranos was like a fucking soap opera. You were like, it's either the 5th or 4th, where you're like, what's happening here? Why are all these characters suddenly turning into caricatures of themselves? And then they went back to it and they finished it up. They need to drive toward an end. They need to not walk toward an end, or like kind of meander. And you're starting to see that a little bit, where like you're like, I don't know what we're gonna do here, because we're kind of stalling for time. We got to figure it out. They got to figure it out.
The only storyline that I feel like was stalling for time at all was the Dorne stuff, and even that, I just feel like was just.
I feel like
not
the Dorne
done
stuff's stalling
right.
for time. I feel like all of the stuff with the religious group is stalling for time. I don't need that. Like, we don't need that at all.
I don't know. I enjoy like the slowness of it. I like just watching the realm as a whole.
Right.
Is just kind of nice. And I like that there's all this stuff happening. And I don't think that they need to rush to an end, or I think they could even go on for a long time and just get lifetime and lifetime of.
Well, I mean,
See, I don't want
that's
that.
sort of what the show's. That's sort
too
of what the
much.
show's turning into, right? And if you want that, I just encourage everyone to go to watch Walking Dead. Like we said on the podcast yesterday. That's what that show's about. That show is not about resolution. That show is not about finding a cure to the zombies. That show is about watching these
Staying
characters just exist and stay alive in this world, and how that existence and that constant strive for and that struggle for life has changed them fundamentally. And like that's a reflection of just humanity. That's a very, very powerful thing. At this point, I'm like, all right, Cersei just wrote, or not Cersei, Khaleesi just wrote a dragon. Dope. Nope, dragon's down. Okay, well, I guess I'll wait till the next season to see what happens with her and the Dothraki.
I'm excited.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up real quick without even getting into any debates or me screaming at Nick and saying, wait, what? Rank the seasons
Wait,
by
what?
number off the top of your head real fast. Just the numbers. Nick.
Oh, I mean, to me, that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I love, as far as like best to worst. Like I've had a consistent sort of love affair with this that's kind of been weaning as the years go on. That's
What
just
about
the way
you,
it goes.
Alexis?
I think the best season was, I think, the Red Wedding season. What was that, 2? 3? Yeah, so season 3. I think 3, 1, and then 4, 5. And 2 was kind of...
Yeah. See, I go 4, 4, 1, 3, 5, 2.
4, 1, 3, 5, 2. Huh.
You thought last season was the best season? The 4th season?
4? Yeah, I do. Because I went in with no expectations for that season. That was the first time I was like, after the Red Wedding, I'm like, what are they going to do? Like, there's no way they can get me back. Instantly got me back with Joffrey's death. Like, every episode after that, every single episode, I was like, what's happening next week? And then building up to the Oberyn stuff and all that. Man.
Yeah, I see. I
Oh,
think to
that
me
was
that,
good, yeah.
that season was like, okay, I'm going to watch. This is the real season that cements the fact that I'm going to watch all these characters slowly die. That's it. All the characters I love are just going to slowly be tortured to death.
It was awesome.
Game of
Ladies and
Thrones.
gentlemen, let us know what you think of season 5. Let us know your rankings in the comments. Until next time, I love you.